Hey guys, we obviously made it back from the cruise. I brought a companion, my sickness. I'd had a positive PCR test, which we all know what that means. But I'm doing better today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were very bad. I was running quite a high fever, and honestly, the body aches were real bad. I'm very glad that I was not 360 pounds and got this. I would have not done very well. Anyways, I've lost my sense of smell and my sense of taste. So I can't taste how much salt I'm eating because usually that's how I decide how much food to eat. Right now I'm using the LMNT because I know it's 1,000 milligrams of sodium and it's got that potassium and magnesium in it as well. And it seems to be helping a lot because I've been having some bad headaches from having this. It also helps with muscle cramps, fatigue, all those kinds of things that low electrolytes happen from. Also, I am discovering I like using it when I'm sick. I can't taste anything, so I can't even taste the salt that I'm drinking in it. It also has no crap in it, no artificial flavorings, sugars, those kinds of things, no fillers, which is good because when I'm sick, I definitely don't need any of that. Right now, LMNT's offering an 8-pack sample pack free with any purchase. You just need to go to drinklmnt.com/carnivorousme. That's drinklmnt.com/carnivorousme. So I want to talk to you guys about the cruise. Tomorrow I'll talk about all the fun stuff with the cruise. Today I want to talk about more about the kind of self-realization. I talked about it a little bit last time in my last video, but I've been pondering on it quite a bit more. How kind of in a bubble I created myself, and it's not a bad thing, in our house, just in the community, things that I've set up in place to prevent me from eating bad. Like if I want some dark chocolate, I have to walk or bike to go get it. Well, it stops me every time because it's not that I'm lazy per se, but it's like the weighing the options. Is that, 2 squares of chocolate worth literally 45 minutes of effort? No, because the reverse is I get literally a minute of pleasure for 45 minutes of effort, so it always outweighs itself. And then things like we have literally one thing of sugar in our house, and it's like these individual raw packets of sugar somewhere up in the cabinet if someone absolutely has to have sugar in their coffee or something. Other than that, I have nothing anywhere in our house that is sugary. Nothing that, I have nothing. So it's not in my face. It's not a constant stimulation or reminder. We actually don't watch a lot of TV because I found sometimes when I'm watching a TV show, my hunger gets triggered just seeing, like my cravings, just seeing like, ooh, sushi sounds good because I'm watching, like a Korean show or something sweet. These are the realizations that I've kind of come to is like things, external forces will trigger internal forces. And it's so important to understand that because I've always hoped, part of me, the realistic part of Amanda knows better, but always hoped, okay, if I can sustain not eating bad for a long time, then all of that's just going to go away. But the reality is, it never will. And this is why. Our brain is like, just imagine a flat piece of land. You keep walking the same path, like literally the same steps over and over and over. What happens is you kill the grass, and then you start kind of like just displacing the soil. So then there literally starts to be kind of a divot in the ground where you've walked so much, and you keep doing it, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until literally you created a very deep crevice because you've walked that path so many times. Well, that's what's happened in our brains. I have walked the path of eating food to feel better, eating food to deal with emotion, 33 years of my life, and that isn't going to go away. That doesn't mean that I have to give into it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I have to constantly work on making a new path instead of following the old tracks. If you've ever been ice skating, you'll know it, and you get on the ice and they haven't like Zambini, is that what the thing is? That they kind of flatten, they melt and like flatten ice back out. If you get on an ice skating rink that's been used a lot, your skates want to like fall into the ruts of other people's skates. It's quite an unpleasant ride. And that's what happens is we're chugging along thinking we're doing good, and then something happens and boom, we fall back into our old rut. And then, you know, the whole spiral. We feel like we're a failure, we've done bad, we go off the rails because, well, we just proved we're a failure. But being aware, and this is where like my epiphany came from, being aware that that is there, it will always be there, so we can stay vigilant to it. And going along with that, it's like, okay, I was like, you know, I'm 11 in some months and I'll do fine on this cruise, okay? But I put myself in a completely different environment that I had much less control over, and I didn't do great, and that's okay. I mean, it's kind of already saw this as a vacation, but I didn't do great, and it was more disappointing that I was like, okay, I thought I had it down better, but reality check. I have very little control over life. I only have control over my reactions to life. And I'm going to be put in places that I didn't foresee an event, and it will continuously for the rest of my life uncover these like triggers, things that are just like, oh, I thought I would do fine with that, but actually, nah, I didn't do so well because it stimulated that old part of my brain to want to follow down the sugar track, the eat bad track, the emotional food eating track, I'm stressed eating track, versus, okay, I'm not going to use food for eating, I'm going to do walking or, you know, whatever else that I put in place to replace this one. And the reason I talk about this is I want you guys to know that this is Amanda's speculation, but I'm pretty sure it is the case most of the time. People will diet, right? Even though I say carnivore diet, that's just meaning the type of food I'm eating, but this is a lifestyle for me. People will diet and they gain weight plus more back. Well, they gain weight back because they go back to the old way they were eating, and well, the old way they ate got them overweight in the first place, so no wonder you gain it back. And then you gain more back because now you have shame that, hey, I lost all this weight, but now I've gained it all back. So then the shame is like those extra added pounds of what you had originally lost. And this is why I want to stress to be vigilant. And this is for myself as well. Being vigilant and staying on our toes. Will I ever eat another fruit or vegetable? I mean, I have, but you know what I mean. Regularly, maybe not. But the thing is watching out to not let the creep happen. Oh, I can have a little bit of this, and then a little bit of that, and then a little bit of this. And then I'll just kind of like, you know, you end up back where you started and you don't know how you got there until you really sit down and like, okay, I actually know how I got there. Anyhow, this was a big epiphany for me that, not that I thought I knew everything, because I don't, but I thought I had it down better. And I set these expectations, and now I'm realizing, okay, don't set expectations. I am as good as I am, and does it really matter if I'm at 99%, or I shouldn't say percent, but like, you know, it's like a scale. I don't know where I'm at. My expectations make me feel like I have control and I know where I'm at, but I don't actually. I can only do what I can do in this moment of life, and that's okay. And I mentioned in the last video, like someone made a comment one time, it's like 6 or 8 months, they're like, oh, you should have this down pat. Why? Do you have life down pat? Like, are you the master of the universe? We're human. And I still think about that comment, not in a negative way, but just like, in the sense that if you have something down pat, shouldn't you be the #1 master of the world? But no one is. So we never have anything down pat. Why? Because we can only control our response to external stimuluses, to external events. I can't control anything else. I can only control how I respond to something. I mean, you could argue like I'm controlling the pen, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about complex events that happen in life. We can't control them, and the more we do, the worse off and more stressed we get, and the more we want to eat bad. Why? Because that's what I spent my entire, like most of my life trying to be like control because I felt out of control eating. I wanted to control everything else, which that's not pleasant to be around. I wasn't pleasant to be around myself either. Anyways, I've got off the rails a little bit here. The whole point of all of this is, no matter where you're at in your journey, I don't care if you're 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, 5 days, stay vigilant to the fact that we have never mastered anything in the regards to what is going on, our emotional eating. Small things will crop up here and there, and you have to deal with them. You have to be willing to deal with them, because if not, we will slide back to where we started because we think we got it down. One last good example is, was it Sears? I'm going to go Sears. It's been a long time since I actually read some of this. One of the number one fundamental failures as a business, to do, like if you own a business, is not changing, not self-reflecting, adapting, and changing, thinking you have it down pat. Well, what happens is life moves forward, things change, and your business model is still for the old world, but every day the world changes a little bit. So then what happens is the companies fail. That is us. We have to be willing to be on our toes and adapt at all times. Thinking we have things down pat just leads us to failure. That's what I'm coming to find out. So the whole point of all this, y'all, be on your toes. Have your eyes open and ready to seek out those things that are causing issues. Anyways, tomorrow I will have more fun video of some of the footage we took, some of the low carb things, what our stateroom looked like, these kinds of things. So tomorrow will be a fun cruise video. And I appreciate all of you. Sorry about my nasally voice. Hopefully in the next week it'll get better. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.